Так, я, получается, у всех уже, по-моему, побывала. Бля, не могу читать, вообще я обзевалась вся. Что я могу ему сказать? Что он нарисовал? Мужика с голой жопой. Ну, в смысле, ладно, вот там, блин, видеть бы получше, что это именно такое. Похоже на каких-то, на кучку каких-то беженцев, я не знаю. Какие-то животные. Тебе действительно это было важно? Да, я хочу шкатулку открыть, но мне эта картина ничего не дает, понимаешь? Я так понимаю, там, наверное... Блин, фейл года. Ладно. И статуи. Тут одна статуя. И я уже пыталась ее разглядывать всячески. Даже пыталась найти скрытый смысл в этих, в этом имени, названии. Ну да, больше статуй тут нет.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Пень. Что это может быть? Не, Андрей, ты не умеешь подсказки давать так, чтобы было не напряжно и не душно. Так что давай как можешь. Зевс? Бля. Не нужны мне никакие подсказки. Мужик с голой жопой. В смысле статуя Зевса? У меня Зевс, блин, по-другому в голове виден. Я не знаю и не знала, как выглядит статуя Зевса.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
В смысле, у меня голова не та? Я знаю, кто
I believe
убийца.
I've identified the murderer.
Really, Louis? All right then. Please think carefully before you give me your answer. This is
какой
a
вариант мне
very,
дадут?
very serious accusation.
Но так-то, если ее тыкали кинжальчиком, то отпечаток руки там был... Ну, как мы выяснили, рука была, скорее всего, женская. Я так думаю. А что там делал этот хрен? Блин, прям в душу смотрит, типа, давай скажи это. Я что-то сомневаться начала. На самом деле, то, что ты моя мать. А почему, типа, я не думаю, что она настолько дура, что могла оставить такие улики интересные. Может быть, ее подставили? А мы, кстати, у него это не были, да? В комнате. Мы были у всех, кроме него, по-моему. А, ну и у Жака... Ой, не у Жака, у этого, у Пьяджи. Ну, к Пьяджи нас, по-моему, не пускали.
I'm going to need a bit
Не
more
пускали
time
же?
to review my findings about the crime.
I do
Я уже,
understand.
блядь, забыла
All
всё.
the more so as it's crucial not to make any mistakes when it comes to naming the culprit.
Мне кажется, сказать, что убила наша мать, это будет как-то слишком просто. Так, это... У него мы тоже были. А где же, где же? У нее тоже были. Мануэль Годой тут закрыто. Вообще, как бы... Кто он такой? Это вот моя комната. Вот здесь комната этого. Нам сюда нельзя. Почему-то. А где комната этого чувака? Француза. Наверное, поэтому мы там и не были. Этот президент. А тут кто? А, ну тут этот. Тут ее убили. Что-то...
Monsieur Johann van Wulne.
Вот. Или он не француз, блин, не путайте меня. Я что-то уже забыла, кто есть кто. Не забыла, точнее, запуталась.
The alchemist is a young man.
О, это мне надо, это мне надо.
The Sorrows of Young Werther. There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever-obedient servant. So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth, but that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult. Table of alchemical symbols. Someone circled the zinc symbol.
Ну-ка. Я сейчас подумаю еще.
A chest locked with a four-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Где твой листик и карандаш? Листик есть, а карандаша нет, блин. Вот в чем проблема. Что? Ладно. Там же было... Ну окей. Я бескарандашная леди. Ну, бляха-муха, даже не знаю, что сказать насчет этого. Чувака. Мне так нравится, как он рубль произносит.
The alchemist is an old man.
Химик старается.
Amber crystals.
Янтарный принц.
What can I do for you, de Richet?
Monsieur, Lord Mortimer has appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help, monsieur?
Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she... not really, to tell the truth. No.
I found the Werther dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck.
Чё это?
My relationship with Miss Adams was pure and has nothing to do with
Тогда не
you.
ври мне.
Well, continue playing
Говори,
the
что не
detective
знаком.
as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now. Please, tell me a little more about the nature of your relationship.
That is a personal matter, monsieur.
Yes, that is true. So, tell me.
All right. It was passion. That's why we couldn't stay together. It scared her.
I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you? I would never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put an end to the relationship, you or her?
It was her. It was her. But what does that matter? We both agreed.
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts before going to bed. But I didn't stay up long. I was tired.
Thank you kindly.
Почему? Я хочу спросить его о татуировках.
Did you see how many tattoos Miss Adams had on her?
Of course. Who wouldn't have noticed?
Yes, but I'm sure that an expert like yourself must have an opinion on the subject.
I do. She was seeking to imprison something inside her. Her own body had become a sort of prison.
She wanted to protect herself, is that what you're saying?
Elizabeth was a flame, a candle in the night. And like all candles in the night, she was surrounded by darkness, by her demons, call it what you will. One thing is for sure. She struggled against hell and high water not to let her flame go out.
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few
А,
ancient
да, я же
manuscripts before going
спрашивала,
to
да, мне
bed.
тоже было очень
But
тяжелый
I
день,
didn't stay
поэтому я
up
тебя
long.
спросила
I was
дважды
tired.
об этом.
Thank you
Прости,
kindly.
старый.
We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to
Блин.
do.
Ну, даже не знаю. Что даже не знаю, не знаю. Я в замешательстве в каком-то нахожусь. В смысле, правильно. У меня скоро сил не останется на... Может, ее вообще убил, блин, этот страшный дед. Откуда мне знать? Я тебе не верю. Мать, тебя обманула, это не статуя Зевса, а другого персонажа? А зачем ты мне говорил про статуи? Я же уже... Ну ладно. Я методом тыкаю.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Во, блин.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother. Louis.
Опять? Да что ж вам так, моя мать? Вот, блин, у меня, знаешь, такое двоякое какое-то ощущение от этого всего. И не хочу как-то напрямую с ним о своей матери общаться. Я хочу как-то вот от него больше узнать, что где с ней, что случилось вообще. Я не думаю, что она пропала. Ну, это мое личное мнение. Суки. Поэтому вот так.
When I first came here, I wasn't that worried. In the past, my mother has taken a few liberties during her missions, including disappearing for several days on end.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the canon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far. Yet he told me that you had spoken and that you hadn't been able to reach an understanding.
That's putting it mildly. Monsieur Bonaparte is one of those guys who only understands people who think like he does.
Ah, I see what you mean. He is indeed rather inflexible when it comes to certain subjects. But I am still of the opinion that you can manage to get along.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having the support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play. And I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, If by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to bring
Мне
you.
кажется, это будет тяжело.
Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
Ах ты, скотина.
If only my mother had trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Она сошла с ума. Блядь. Ну, да, что там обнаружила?
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
My mother has a gift for investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jersey, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
The armistice between the Russians and the Turks. Russia's come out of it having officially won Crimea, which gives it direct access to the Black Sea.
And, at the same time, the Mediterranean Sea. I'm worried about the decisions Tsarina Catherine might decide to take. She's a woman who managed to get rid of her husband to accede to the upper reaches of power. Gaining access to the Mediterranean Sea remains her main objective. When she still had that dear Potemkin as her lover, I could always find out about her intentions, but those days are over.
You're speaking of Grigory Alexandrovich Potemkin?
The very man. The little devil behind the mother of all
Какое
Russia.
произношение интересно.
Since his death, I know absolutely nothing of what the Tsarina is up to.
Oh, really?
Ah, yes. I didn't mean to shock you. Please forgive me. Let's just say that, in my position, it is often advantageous to know about the habits and customs of world leaders.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Unfortunately, my lord, the Crusades are not my chosen field.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have plenty of time to learn. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then,
Опа.
before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
Ой, я все-таки
That
угадала,
means
кстати,
my vision
по
on the
поводу
wall, it
видения.
was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Так, и что? Мне надо
The
будет...
room was just opposite Mortimer's study.